welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Key, Union Cross, whatever it is. This is, I believe, the last episode. I think we're going to finish this today, which is pretty exciting. So, it should have left us off right where we were. So I'm just going to jump straight back into it. So, alrighty. Let's go ahead and get started, I guess. Make sure I'm not muted or anything. Should be on the right screen. All right, let's go. Great. Hey guys, what's up? That's right. They called Ven and Skull here. Now you should let me know. Also, do you mean like Pokemon Tournament? Hey, did you see it was snowing? But you didn't call us out here to talk about the weather, did you? You're right. I didn't. There's something I want to ask you. Who told you that you were chosen to be a union leader? Oh, this is interesting. Master Ava. Yeah, same here. Brain, maybe we should talk to them separately. Huh? Where were you when she told you? Did someone pretend to be Ava? We were right here. For me, it was... Oh no! Near the clock tower. Oh no, Ven's gonna be the one that's different. Interesting. I played a little bit of Pokken, but not a ton. I'm just not super into fighting games like that. It's not like that, Skuld. I mean, it pretty much is an interrogation. Are we being suspected of something? Ventus, Skuld, let me explain. You see, Master Ava entrusted me with something. Are we gonna find out the discrepancies finally? Is that the Book of Prophecies? That's right. And inside it, Master Ava tucked away a note listing the names of the 5 new Union leaders. The name of the one originally meant to receive the book is circled. Originally? It wasn't you? Nope. I guessed as much when she gave me this. Master Ava wanted to defy fate and change the future, so she gave it to me instead. But something else is off. The list of union leaders itself. One of the names doesn't match up. Maybe it is Lauriam. Lauriam's sister, Strelitzia, was supposed to be a union leader, which we've known. What? So Master Ava swapped out one of the leaders too? I don't think so. If Master Ava had planned to switch out a union leader, she wouldn't have given me this note in the first place. As for Strelitzia, it might be easy to suspect Master Ava may be involved with her disappearance, but I don't believe she is. I don't feel like Ava did anything wrong. She's not that kind of person. Maybe a replacement was chosen after Strelitzia went missing. That doesn't add up either. Strelitzia was last seen just before the start of the Keyblade War, desperately trying to get Everglow to join the Dandelions. Everglow is the player, as a reminder, since this is the video he made. We can assume this is because she heard from Master Ava that she was chosen to be a union leader and that the war was coming. If Master Ava wanted to switch her out for someone else, even on such short notice, she would have told someone. It would make sense to tell me, at least. Seeing as she trusted me with both the book and the list of names that was about to change. Is Lauriam's name on there? Yeah, oh, so it is. So Lauriam was chosen. We'll discuss this with him later after we know more. He has a lot on his plate right now looking into Strelitzia's disappearance. At this point, it's probably mine too. We asked you those questions earlier to determine whether or not the replacement knew about any of this. Ephemer and I agree that even though we know the truth, we don't want anything to change between us. That's right. And I think we got the answer we were looking for, so no one actually knows. Like Brain said, nothing changes. We're still a team. We'll keep working. Are you really not going to tell me who it was? We'll keep working together to try to figure this whole thing out. Ventus. Oh, no. Your name isn't on the list. Oh, no. It is Ventus. Oh, no. What does that mean? Ventus isn't a... Is someone setting him up to be a traitor? What is happening? The defenses here are rather lacking. Yes. Meanwhile, Maleficent is trying to take a boat home. This place is off limits. You're certainly knowledgeable about all this, Mr. Darkness, sir. The world, the lifeboat, the lack of defenses. Just who are you? I'm excited to find out more. Think of me as an old friend. And why would this old friend want so badly to see me back in my own time? I need you to act as a waypoint. Didn't I tell you earlier? Is this Ansem or Xehanort? In order to travel through time, you need a medium to form a body and someone with memories of you. No one from this world has those in the future. But if we send you back, that all changes. Someone from this time could find their way to you. And into the future? That's not important. Ooh. Getting back to your own time is all that matters, right? It's interesting to see Maleficent go from being, like, the one in charge, or somewhat in charge, to pretty much just being used as a puppet. Although Ansem sort of used her as a puppet in the first place as well. How do we get in? I see. Darkness! Oh? Hold on. This is very Undertale. Have I seen this before? I feel like I might have seen this already once before. I mean, there's 7, probably for the princesses, I imagine. If you want to go now, this is your chance. I wasn't sure if it was the same one in KH1. You're talking about the one in Hollow Bastion, isn't it? In Hollow Bastion, like in the basement? I wouldn't waste my time snooping around if I were you. Or is this something else that I don't remember? You see? What are you doing here? Uh-oh. Lauriam. You may want to think carefully before you answer. Oh. He has Divine Rose. But is that the one that's like in Ansem's boat thing, or Master Eva really did tell me I was the master? It's true. We believe you, Ven. So it was a part of Master Eva's plan then? It's honestly been a while since I've played through KH1. No. Unfortunately, Strelitzia is gone. And that's proof enough that it wasn't Master Eva's idea. That's what I thought that the Kairi got put into the thing in Hollow Bastion. I thought they were 2 separate things. Unless I'm like making up the whole machine that's in Hollow Bastion, but I feel like I remember that. Hold on, I missed a couple of things. Huh? Let's back up a little bit. If it was, she would have taken great care to make sure Strelitzia was safe. Not sent her off to war without telling her what was happening. And Master Eva is definitely not the type of person to make someone disappear. Then who did Ven talk to? Yeah, it must have been someone else that was pretending to be Ava. Let's think it through. Why were we chosen as dandelions? To keep light alive, right? And what else might want to come along for the ride? Darkness. Darkness can hide anywhere. Are they just saying even inside someone? Dude, is there evil Ava? What a surprise. So you're all trapped here as well. I don't recall you being invited. Then I'd best be on my way. This isn't the way out. Ha! You have no idea what this room is, do you? Nope. And I can't say I'm interested. Every cage has a door, even this cage of data. This is that door, and I'll be taking my leave through it. Seeing as I'm not welcome here. Huh? I didn't know this place was so important. You're acting very lax about this, Lauriam. I figured it was just a lab or a storeroom. You were correct. It seems a great deal of research was once conducted here, and what remains of it was left to gather dust. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be on my way. Darkness disguised itself as Master Ava? But why would they even do that for Ventus? Did you notice anything strange when you met with Master Ava? Like, what's the whole motivation behind making Ventus a fake Union leader? I don't know. What did she say to you? She said she wanted me to become one of the new Union leaders. Then she gave me a rule book and told me I should go to the battleground when everything was over and the others would be waiting there. I mean, that all tracks. I recall you saying that when we first met. Anything else? I remember she told me to come to this old abandoned house. Wait. Didn't you say you met at the tower? We met at the house first, then walked to the tower while we talked. Can you tell us more about what happened? Okay, I'm wondering how important this info is. That day, I went to the abandoned house like Master Ava said. Dude, why is everyone meeting this abandoned house? Pick a better meeting spot. Master Ava, it's me, Ventus. Master Ava! Why would Ava bring someone... Dude, hello? You never thought this was suspicious? Then, come on. You're better than that. Who's there? That was Strelitzia, I think. He's a little simple. Like when he goes up to Terra in KH3. That's when Master Ava showed up and we left this house together. So I'm thinking that whoever attacked Strelitzia and faked out Ventus is the same person. Or entity, I guess? It could just be like an entity of darkness. On the way to the tower, she told me she wanted to be one of the new Union leaders. You think that's when she came. You're not sure? Yeah, it's a fuzzy. I can't remember what happened before we left the house. What? Why can't you remember? I think we left as soon as she got there. Maybe someone took his memories. The person who came to the house, was it really Master Ava? Huh. Did you not see two corpses on the ground? Why? What does this mean? Let's head back to the tower. Looks like he might have lost. I mean, from the looks of... Well, there's... Oh, one of the pods was missing on the right there, I just noticed. Oh? Laurium. Laurium. Oh, it's a flashback of some kind. I like this song a lot. I knew you'd be here. Taking a break? Yeah, I mean, Marluxia does love his flowers. Actually, I'm done collecting my Lux for the day. But it's only noon. I know, but I finished a while ago. Taking out monsters is easy. What's that look for? Oh, I didn't realize I was... It's just... I don't know how you do it. You're so amazing. Thanks. Me, on the other hand, I spent the whole day getting chased around by them. You know your magic is stronger than mine. Stay calm and focused, and you'll be done in no time. It's so weird to see a supportive Marluxia-ish person. Can't we pair up? You take the front, I'll take the back. We could, but that won't help you in the long run. Maybe when you get strong enough to protect me. Then we'll pair up and you can carry me through the battle. That sounds impossible. Oh, I've been meaning to ask. Have you decided to join the Dandelions? I'm not sure yet. What's holding you back? Well, I like the people I'm with now. Besides... Yeah, it is actually interesting, like, if you found out, hey, the world's gonna end unless you become a Dandelion, would you just not become one? Does someone have a crush? Ooh. No. It's nothing like that. Stay calm, focus, be brave. Stop it, Laurium. It's not like that, I swear. Okay. You make everyone's lives so much brighter. People need that. They need your power. Believe in yourself. Well, I don't know about that. Wait, you're not just saying that, are you? Not at all. In fact, you just worked that power of yours on me. Things were feeling dull, but now I'm looking forward to what's in store for tomorrow. Then let's pair... Nope. But I will come running if you're ever in trouble. Well, sorta. That didn't seem to work out last time. No. Huh? You told me what I need to do, so that's what I'll do. I can't imagine they wouldn't give us that, like, both Marluxia and Elrina in their, like, Union Cross costumes. I like the sound of that. I guess I don't think they would set all this up. What? Wait, hold on. Strelitzia! She went missing just like that? Strelitzia! Laurium. Strelitzia? Hello? Laurium, Oh my gosh. Yeah, the white cloak is really cool. Ah, he's dreaming, I see. Wake up, Loria. Strelitzia. I was fighting, and I mean, it looks like. I mean, we always knew that Maleficent was going to successfully return to the future because we've played Kingdom Hearts 2. She's gone. Man, bad date to be Lori. Sometimes the animations look a little silly in this art style. Strelitzia. I. There's a very good chance she's dead. But also, it's Kingdom Hearts. This means that death is more of a suggestion sometimes. And she came out. What is this world? It's the real world. Congratulations on your successful escape. How often do we see male anime? Yeah, it's usually the other way around. I've returned to my own time? No, this is still the past. You just made it back to the real world from the data world. My patience wears thin. What do I have to do now? Tell me how to return to where and when I came from. With this pod. What? Then why have you brought me here? We had to leave the data world. Come on, Maleficent, keep up. Before you can even try to travel through time. Why not do both at once? Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The lifeboat was only made to travel to other worlds, so we're already pushing it to its limits. No matter. So long as I finally reach my destination this time. Of course. Back in the pod! And will you be joining me? You should be able to, seeing as you have no physical form to hinder you. I'll stay here. You'll be fine on your own, and I have some unfinished business to take care of. Is Ven alright? He's fast asleep in his room. He seemed pretty exhausted. I mean, I imagine... Oh. Okay, so... There's some third party pulling all the strings here. He had his head in his hands the whole time. The memories that came back must have been a real shock. So he did have his memories taken out. So he saw what happened to Strelitzia then, and someone made him forget. None of this is his fault, right? Can you tell us what's going on? Well, we still don't know all the facts. But going by Ven's story, we know he was there during Strelitzia's final moments. As for who's behind this whole thing... Darkness. Is it just... You can't just say darkness? Darkness could be much closer than we thought, working right under our noses. Interesting. Ah, these two again. What is it? What's the problem? We can't get rid of the darkness in this world, so we're ending it to escape into another one. We can't win against the darkness, can we? You don't sound too happy about that. Of course not. As Keyblade wielders, we're supposed to fight against the darkness. But we're just giving up and running away. It sounds bad when you put it like that. There's no other way to put it. And we're gonna have to keep running wherever we go. Oh, Lushu. Xigbar. I took you under my wing and taught you everything you know. Which is apparently nothing. What's that supposed to mean? You think too much. You think and think until you come to some convoluted conclusion. Then you get all worked up thinking that must be the answer. And if you don't understand something, you get all worked up concluding that there is no answer. But the answer will come in time. So I should just wait and see what happens. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll wind up somewhere. What is it now? Well, I don't like the idea of waiting around for something to happen. So you want to go through life knowing what's coming? That's not... There's a way to win against the darkness. Huh? But it isn't easy. It takes time and careful planning. So much that you couldn't do it in one lifetime, or even two. That's why we need to leave this world. To bring it to an end. To abandon the notion of time and what separates our worlds. Also, it's getting very dark. Also, we can defeat the darkness. Why did he teleport behind him like that? Dude, this is Ven's room? It's kind of huge. Hello? I guess if you're a union leader in the tower, you get a large room. Are we finally going to see everything? He has to be here. This is the only place we haven't checked. And this is her looking for us, the player. Maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. Hello? Is anyone here? Hello? I guess I was wrong. Yeah, I mean, I imagine all of them are just occupying the data versions of the foreteller's room. Okay, I'll keep searching. What? Pick that up. Oh no. She's being controlled! Oh no! Why? Let's go. Is that Vanitas? But Vanitas hasn't been created yet, I thought. Didn't Xehanort draw Vanitas out of Ventus? Lauriam. And then they look like Ava. So he stole the rulebook from Strelitzia's hands. I mean, inadvertently. That's horrible. If darkness is behind this whole thing, it must be close by. But why hasn't it tried to harm us? What does it want? Do you think it's watching us? Waiting to make a move? I don't know. I'm not even sure that it is responsible for all this. But it's the only theory that makes sense. If I'm right and it's close, it knows we're onto it. So it might come for us? Yeah. Like it did for Lauriam's sister. Is that what happened to her? But why? I don't know why it targeted Strelitzia. Yeah, it would be cool to see a lot of these environments from this movie. Slash game, I guess. Also, yeah, Lauriam, we think we know that your sister's dead and then half attacked her? Lauriam! Lauriam, what happened? Targeted for what? What did you mean by that? It's nothing important, it's fine. Yikes. What happened to her? Answer me! Stop! Hello? So this is the plan. Clever. What plan? Darkness's plan. Fear, doubt, anger. It's purposefully messing with our hearts and making us turn on each other. Yeah, that was like a crazy punch. Lauriam, please. I don't understand. Please, just listen. Tell me what happened to my sister. The music, no! It's my fault. Ven? What? Explain yourself, Ven. I'm sorry, Lauriam. I'm responsible for what happened. That's not true. Dude, this makes me sad. No. Ven has consistently gotten the short end of everything. Ven, what did you do to Strelitzia? Is he choking him? Lauriam, stop. Ven, answer me. No, I hate this! Stop it, this isn't you. Stay out of this. Oh no! He's doing the head scream. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Oh no, 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 no! What is that? What's going on? I see. You are darkness. Finally. It's about time. I thought he went outside to the real world with, have you ever spoken with darkness? What is this music? Hello? Sure have. What was it like? Well, it wasn't much of a conversation. Didn't feel like I was getting through to it, and vice versa. Imagine trying to talk to someone with a very unconventional thought process. Huh, like you. Dude, this music is creepy. That's exactly what I mean. You know, Lucius, some people actually respect their seniors. Maybe that's a novel concept to someone as cold-hearted as you. In fact, I'd say you have more in common with darkness than I do. Anyway, darkness can at least understand what we're saying, right? Well, of course. They've been watching us for long enough. Really? Are they watching now? Oh, possibly. Kidding, kidding. No, they're not here. They wouldn't come near us without good reason. This piano is very intense. That wasn't funny. It was kind of funny. Meanwhile, the conversation is very upbeat. What about Ava's wielders, the dandelions? What if they come face to face with darkness? Yeah, what if? Huh? That would never happen. They're tasked with the great duty of rebuilding our world. Also, I just realized my ring light is off. If anything happens to them... Look, anyone who faces darkness is going to have a bad time. You can't predict what they're going to do or say. They're really good at playing mind games. So the dandelions are in danger. Maybe so. But if there's one thing darkness has an aversion to, it's those who are pure of heart. Their thoughts and emotions are completely foreign and utterly baffling. The same goes for all people. While darkness may recognize what we're up to, they can't comprehend our reasons. All they know is that we're the enemy. They'll never understand us, just like we'll never understand them. And that's why we'll always be at odds. What's their endgame? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Dude, that was a very intense theme. This is all very intense. I have to say, I didn't expect you to look like such a cliche. So you say. But I have no form to speak of. We mostly go unnoticed, after all. What you see and hear now is for your benefit. I see. So they literally is just like, this is what you think darkness looks like, so that's what I'm gonna show myself as. Want? I want nothing. I simply am. Huh? Also, they're very much personifying darkness here, which is very interesting. It must be hard for you to understand. We're very different. Unlike you, our actions don't serve a greater purpose or goal. Then why did you take my sister? Why Strelitzia? It was his will. I don't believe you. Ven didn't even know her. Besides, he would never wish that on anyone. You're right. They were strangers. But what he wished for was power. I simply helped him fulfill that wish by making him a Union leader. Ven would never want that. Wouldn't he? Even if he did, he wouldn't go so far as to take it from someone or steal their spot as leader. Power is power. How it's acquired is of no consequence. Then, it could have been any of us? It didn't have to be Strelitzia? Yes. You... Oh no. Look at Bryn's Keyblade. I'll take a look. I have a few questions. Go on. Why Ven? Because it was decided. What was? That he would harbor darkness. Your vessel was chosen? Yes. So is this like preliminary setting up so that he can create Vanitas? You've read the book? In a manner of speaking, yes. At least the parts that matter to us. How? We read the words as they were being written. In the book? Yes. What exactly is your relationship with the Master? We're old friends. Friends? Then you and the Master are on the same side? We have no need to side with people. Alright, next question. You've hidden from us all this time. Why show yourself now? Dude, Bryn's actually really good at like asking important questions. You're wrong. We haven't been hiding. You simply never noticed us before. All that's changed is that you've finally acknowledged our existence. Last question. You keep saying we, but what do you mean? Shadows outnumber light. Okay, last question. Are you the only one here right now? Yes. Good to know. It's Ericus's Keyblade! Okay! Ephemer, Scold, you ready? This is going to be rough. I'm really worried about the dandelions. The book tells us of a future with light. That's proof they'll be fine. Are you sure? Well, it's a pretty long read, so I skipped over the details of each individual person's fate. Even though our future depends on them? You're not gonna let this go, are you? Tell you what. It's your role to keep watch, so why not watch over them while you're at it? But nothing more than that. Don't go getting your hands dirty. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, in Candy Kingdom, the story has almost reached the happy ending of the original movie. King Candy's been defeated and Vanellope can finally win the race. Very big tonal shift here. Yay! Ready? What's wrong? What? You forgot something? Alright, come find us when you're done. We'll be at the track. Hi, Chirithy. You noticed it, huh? What? How would you not notice that? Not you. Oh, this music. Not this again. If we're not the ones you're looking for, why are you following us? That does it. I was hoping we could find out what the Darklings are after, but I don't think that's gonna happen. There's only one thing to do now. Just kidding. Good luck. Bye, Chirithy. Okay. I wonder what it wanted. It keeps saying not you. Wait a minute. The way the bugs are drawn to the beacons. Could the Darklings be drawn to Keyblade wielders in the same way? Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking out loud. Hey, how do you think Vanellope's doing? Let's go wait at the finish line. Yeah, just a random thought that has no bearing on current events. You ready for this? As ready as I'll ever be. Wow, so this is the real you. This isn't me. This is me. I like how we're skipping through the Vanellope lines since this isn't super important. She's a princess, but in her heart she's a racer. It goes to show that sometimes people aren't what they seem. That can be said for anyone. Another version of yourself could be hiding inside your... Chirithy, okay? Calm down. But if that version of you belonged to darkness... Wow. We're just not even doing subtlety anymore, are we? Oh, it's nothing. Fix it, wreck it, the arcade's about to open. Let's move him out. Now that things are back to normal... Our world might be fixed too. Yeah, man. Let's head back to Daybreak Town to see if the glitches are gone. And to share what we know about the Darklings. The Darklings are looking for a Keyblade wielder, but it's not Everglow or Ephemer. Who could it be? Then? Probably. The whole glitches situation isn't looking very good. Just throwing that out there. Time's almost up, dandelions. So that must be Lushu watching over the dandelions because he's worried about them. And this box needs to stay out of sight. Just watch it with your own eyes and my eye, of course, as things unfold between the others. Then, when the time is right, go off and do your thing. What's in it? It's a secret! And, well, you see, the thing is... you can never, ever open it. Great! Now I really want to know. Alright. I'll indulge you. But this secret stays between the two of us, and you have to promise never to open the box. I promise. This freaking box, man. But why? You'll see. Can't you just tell me now? And ruin the surprise? Well, I'd hate for anything to happen to you, so I will give you one little hint. I'm listening. When darkness strikes at dawn, and the lifeboat departs, that's happened, this world will have fulfilled its purpose. If that happens, you have to see it through to the end. And take a corridor to a new world as fast as you can. The world is going to end. Haven't I told you? There's no way for us to win against the darkness. That's why we needed to use the time we had to get all those Keyblade wielders ready to pass the torch to the next generation. This world exists to nurture the dandelions, our little seeds of light, so they can be sown into the future, where they can stop the darkness. Then the sun will finally set on this dark, duskless dawn. And our plan will have succeeded at last. Oh boy! Dude, Ephemer and Bran are really going after it. It's over. Yeah. I can't take you down alone. I'm not even sure I can wear you down. Fair point. Shall we call it done then? Oh? So you surrender. Ephemer's very likable. You claimed you aren't after anything, but I'm not buying it. What? You seem pretty desperate to get in our way, showing up like this. I don't know if it's pride or fear, but there's a reason you're still here. Dude, I think you just got called out. Infection. Meaning? Data transfer requires a signal. The same goes for the hearts and minds of you humans. You underestimate how easily the darkness rides on those signals and spreads through this place. Is that why you wormed your way into the data world? But then why hide inside Ven? I told you, because it was decided. That's enough. Scold, you're alright. You're saying because it was written in the Book of Prophecies, it was meant to be? Well, I don't care. You hijacked Ven and attacked Laurium's sister. And now you're gonna pay for it. That's right. We are many, and we are one. But to be one requires will. Through him, we could divide into pure darkness and light. So they are talking about the eventual creation of Vanitas. They have to be. It was a sacrifice that needed to be made. So, Ven didn't attack Strelitzia. You did. Is that right? Yeah, get with the program, Lorium. We're picking it up. I figured you guys could use some help. One more ally will make no difference. Then how about two? Who is that? Oh, is that me? Let's go! Alright. Also, I noticed that, it looks like Lorium has the Divine Rose Keyblade, which is kind of on point. Even if you do manage to defeat us, you will still lose. I don't think so. We're taking you down and going back to the real world. And how do you plan on doing that? With the lifeboat? Yeah, just like the evil fairy, right? Is that what we're calling Maleficent? You know nothing. How do you figure? If you return, Daybreak Town will still succumb to darkness. What have you done to the real world? Nothing. It was decided long ago. When the lifeboat is activated, this world falls to darkness. It is already in motion, the beginning of the end. But why? The lifeboat is the last line of defense, to be relied upon in the event we cannot be defeated. Its use initiates the process to seal this world, and us along with it. Oh. Well, that's bad. The evil fairy's departure was the trigger. It cannot be so. So he was trying to get Maleficent to leave so that it would trigger, like, closing in on this world. I don't believe it. Mr. Eva is the one who brought us together. I don't know about the other masters, but I know for sure that Master Eva wouldn't just throw us away like that. Yeah, this is a very good song. Besides, it doesn't matter what the masters may have planned for us. We believe in our leader. Let's do this. Did we win? I am formless. You cannot destroy me. Uh-oh. You. Oh, they were looking for Ven. The Darklings. They're after Ven? But why? Oh no, dude. Ven! Oh. Ven. If you're pure darkness, then that makes me pure light. If you use me to reshape yourself, then I can reshape you again. Dude, get him! I'll give you a new form that we can defeat. Lorium, I can't lose you too. Everything's going to be alright. Oh, dude, that is like way cool. Now to check on the data. Aren't you supposed to be a part of the whole? Oh, is this Lucio? Is he gonna stop the darkness and help the Dandelions? Or are you acting on your own right now? Is that it? Also, who is he holding? What is happening? Who are you? There shouldn't be any Keyblade Masters left in this world. I've stayed. Lucia. Figures you wouldn't know what's going on, seeing you didn't take a very good look at the book. Why are you here? You're only meant to observe. I'm here because your friend, the Master of Masters, told me to be. Said I could watch what happens, but not to act. Look, but don't touch. He always said the strangest things. But I've thought about it for a long time, and I think I know what he meant now. If you use that, your plan is as good as ruined. It's not for me. What is that? A seed of light to be planted in the future. The true dandelion. I mean, it looked like the white cloak that Strelitzia had on. So this is the Master of Masters, then. What do you plan to do with this world? When twilight ends, a new day begins. I see. Okay. You see, this world exists in 3 stages. First, countless Keyblade wielders are brought together. Then, as they fight through fear and see their leaders fall, their numbers dwindle while others learn to stand on their own. I will do that. Finally, those left must decide what to do when faced with darkness in a sealed-off world. And when all 7 of the lifeboat's pods depart, this world will end and a new day will dawn. So you came to this world just to end it? Well, that wasn't my express purpose. You have the Book of Prophecies, and therefore knowledge of all things. Strange that you would knowingly waste your time and efforts. Whoa, you think the book tells us everything? Yeah, right. No way I'd have let you peek at something that important. No, the book doesn't cover much at all. Just what the Keyblade I gave to Lucius, and even then, only the bits important enough to jot down. But, to be honest, it doesn't matter what the book does or doesn't contain. Yeah, they're acting real chummy, that's for sure. What matters is the... Wait, what was that? What matters is the point at which it was written. And how to get there. What do you mean? Anyone who tries to travel through time on the lifeboat will lose their body. To become whole again, they'll require 2 things at their destination. A medium to rebuild their body, and someone with memories of them. The book contains a waypoint. All of this was for a waypoint? Sure was. Luciu has the memories, and my eye is the medium. I've got a direct line from A to B, so he's just trying to get himself to the future? To use the book and your apprentice to travel into the future? I mean, that's not my final goal, but it is an important step. One that I won't be taking alone. The 7 pods and the 7 crowns. For the 7 lights. Including your apprentice? Who knows? Anyone could wind up using them. You're even more clever than I thought. I could say the same about you. What are you all up to, anyway? What indeed? In any case, I'm tired of watching you duke it out. Although I did see something interesting in the future. What might that be? A world I can't even conceive. I hope everything's okay. I'm sure it is. Is that Ven's room? Lauriam knows it wasn't Ven's fault, right? It could be Quadratum. Should we check on them? No, Lauriam said everything was fine. Alright. Do you really think the world is going to end? I'm not sure. There's a lot we don't know. About this world, the Keyblade Masters. Yeah. But think back to what Master Eva taught us. That when this world is shrouded in darkness, it'll just go to sleep. I remember that. It's not much, I know, but it's enough to keep me from giving up hope. I played a part into bringing the Dandelions together, so I have a responsibility to save everyone. And I'm going to try my best to do that. It's not your responsibility alone, but whatever you do decide to do, you have our support. I want you to know that. Yeah, I mean, even Lucio mentioned them sort of being friends. Or friendly. Oh? Hi there. Oh! I'm sorry, Ventus. I know it wasn't your fault. I just needed someone to blame. Darkness is so abstract. My anger needed a simple, tangible target. Selfish of me, I know, but some emotions are too much to bear. Tell me, is darkness really gone? Or has it become a part of you, just like you said? If it has, then Hatred, anger, and sadness. That's exactly what they want. You have to let it go. What happened to my kind and loving brother? Aww. Strelitzia! Lauriam, someone's here to see you. Who? Alrina! Hi. What are you doing here? Well, I thought you should know. It's about Strelitzia. Chirithy claims to have seen her. What? Definitely the Master of Masters. 100%. Maybe it wasn't her, but a few days ago... I spotted someone who looked an awful lot like her, headed toward town from the hill. And she wasn't alone. She was with someone in a black coat. Okay, so Lucio took her somewhere. How indeed. We can't be sure of anything yet, but it's definitely an interesting piece of information. A black coat could only mean one of the Keyblade Masters? Most likely. Both the Master of Masters and Lucio fit the description. But the Masters shouldn't be here, even if this were the real world. Wait a minute. Maybe... What is it? Do you remember why this data world was created? As a backup of the real one. Right, to save the world as it was before the Keyblade War. That means Strelitzia's data must be stored here too. Really? I thought this place was just a copy of the world, not its people. Besides, if everyone's data was brought over, shouldn't there be versions of us here too? Yeah, good point. Yep. Our data should be here as well. Interesting. Could be that it's still locked up and hasn't been touched yet. Think about it. Elrina's... Wait, what did that say? Elrina saw a glitched version of Strelitzia. If what Chirithy says is true, maybe her data is here and someone managed to access it. I don't understand. Why Strelitzia? And if her data does exist, does that mean we can bring her back? I don't know. Who would do something like that? As far as we know, all of the masters are gone. We'll probably have more luck finding answers in the real world. About that. If what Darkness said was true, we should be able to use the lifeboat in the basement to get back. But if that's somehow linked to the end of this world... We don't have time to think about that now. Come on, let's go to the basement. I mean... if you think about it... Like, why do Larxene and Marluxia act so differently from Lorium and Elrina? Like, we don't know that either. So Strelitzia's data got sent off through the lifeboat? I don't know who you sent, but there are 5 left. Who will they go to? You didn't read that part of the book? It wasn't of any interest to me. So what is then? Expansion. I don't get you. Nor we you. You spent time grooming these wielders only to trap and leave them behind in the data world. Why? Yeah, I mean, I'd also like to know that answer. Don't know. Who knows what the Master of Masters is thinking? And yet, you follow him. Why not? I may not know the reasoning behind everything he does, but I can guess. But you're not certain. No. But I am sure of one thing. He is not a fan of darkness. I see. Hi, Mary. That we understand. We're not fond of light either. So what's your brilliant plan? To spread through the data world using its signals? So no matter what world or time I end up in, I don't think so. Oh? I thought you were told not to interfere. But I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for me. I am formless. You cannot destroy me. I know. Then why waste the effort? The longer you exist without a tangible form, the more your will fades. Darkness had form when the Master of Masters was a boy, right? Oh, we're talking about his... Hold on, what? You abandoned it to defeat light. That's when darkness became a whole. But then you realized that you couldn't maintain your will as one or as a whole, which is why you still need a physical form. You call it infection and expansion, but you're just stealing the bodies of those with hearts. You act like it's this grandiose plan when it's actually kind of sad and pathetic. Wow. Get him, Luxu. You never even figured out his real plan, did you? What? Let me ask you this. Besides you, there are 5 other shadows with individual will. I know at least one is in the data world. So where are the other 4? Wait, this is new. New information? You're well informed. Yes, 6 of us remained after the war. After which we found ourselves in the data world. All of them? But you returned to the real world with the evil fairy. Meaning the rest are still there. Yes. Then you're the only one in my way. Yeah, if you're jumping in now, I mean, things barely make any sort of sense to me, and I've been keeping up with the series since the beginning, so... Yeah, the issue here is that there's not enough lifeboats for everyone. I count 6. The evil fairy took the... I mean, why do we call Maleficent the evil fairy? So we're short 1. 2. This one's broken. Yeah, I was gonna say, I count 5 working ones. That doesn't look good at all. We're running out of time. We need to decide who goes. Also, it's really weird seeing Ven and Marluxia, like, hanging out. Yeah, what about the rest of the wielders? Yeah, everyone's sort of screwed. They'll go to sleep. Just like a computer in sleep mode. Forever. That sounds very much just like death. Master Eva taught us that, remember? When all is shrouded in darkness, the world will fall into slumber. Right. The Master of Masters knew this would happen and created a backup of the world. A place to shelter and keep us safe. What would that say? That's where we are. Okay. Sorry, sometimes the text goes kind of fast. And if something causes this world to freeze, it can be rebooted and restored. The end of this world is nothing like the end of the real one. Like I said, sleep mode. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. So it's not this world we need to be worried about. Even if we use the lifeboat to get back, we'll have to use it again to go wherever it is that we need to go after. And who knows where that'll be? Is escape really the right answer? Whether we stay or go, it's a gamble. Right, but if no one goes back, then no one there will know what's happened here. There will be no rescuing anyone left behind. And we can't let that happen. We Keylid wielders need to live on. Ephemer and I should split up. Agreed. Brain, you should go back. Having you in the real world would give us the best chance to save the people here. Got it. Wait, so he goes back to the real world? We still don't really know anything about him. He's like the only one. I guess Scold too. I'm not a union leader or anything, so... Listen, the only way to make it out of this is to go back. We're the ones responsible for this whole situation in the first place. So you, Ven, and Everglow should go. Brain, Everglow, Elrina, and Ven each take one. Scold, Lauriam, one of you should take the last. Lauriam, it's yours. If there's a chance you'll get your sister back, then you need to be there for her. Besides, you'll have a better chance of finding answers over there. You should take it. I don't deserve a spot. Yes, you do. You gave me hope for the first time since Strelitzia went missing. Help me find her, please. So this is how they're explaining how all of these characters that we know eventually get back to the real world, get there. There's only one way out of here and the seating's limited for now. When I get back, I promise I'll find a way to save everyone here. Thanks. Alright, we don't have much time. Who's going? I'll stay. I'm not even a dandelion. I'm just here as your friend. So if you're staying, so am I. I was gonna say, it almost makes the most sense for the player to stay. Besides, I don't want to have to wait around for you again. You're calling him out again. I'm not leaving you two here. Well, why don't we save one for later? I might be able to find a way to rescue all three of you at once. You already have something in mind, don't you? Sure do. Then it's settled. Lauriam, can you look after Ven? Hop in, Alrina. Brain, take care of everyone. Will do. Here, take it. Wait, hold on. This Keyblade is now Ephemer's? This suit, and the Book of Prophecies. I didn't end up using it. But if you're ever lost, don't hesitate to have a look. Yeah, his name is Brain, not Brian, which is what I called him initially. I'll hold on to these for now. But as far as I'm concerned, they still belong to you. So I wonder if Ephemer was the original person that was supposed to look at the Book of Prophecies. Master Ava told me you've been wanting to read the book for a long time. Besides, I'm pretty sure she gave these to me knowing I would do just this. May your heart be your guiding key, Ephemer. Just like mine is for me. Thanks. See, it's so weird. I didn't trust Brain at all at the beginning of this, and now I, like, kind of love the guy. Although I'm still a little suspicious because we don't know anything about him. I'm right where I want to be. We'll never know what Nomura's thinking, ever. Be safe. So they're all going back to the real world. But wait a minute. How did Lucio get Strelitzia in a pod? There's no way for us to win against Darkness. They must have been in the real world then. That's why we needed to use the time we had to get all those Keyblade wielders ready to pass the torch to the next generation. Okay, we've heard a little bit of this cutscene already. This world exists to nurture the dandelions, our little seeds of light, so they can be sown into the future, where they can stop the darkness. Then the sun will finally set on this dustless dawn. And our plan will have succeeded at altitude. Sometimes it's hard to focus on the words when the piano is going crazy like this. It is interesting for a company that generally has such a tight hold on their IPs. I'll get started then. Oh wait, I almost forgot. There's more? Like I said, we've been fighting darkness for a long, long time. During this battle, darkness shed its form and began attacking our hearts instead of our bodies, claiming countless allies of mine along the way. But at some point, darkness realized that without form, they would eventually lose their individual will. Which brings us to now. Darkness has no form? From 7, all is fulfilled. From 13, chaos is born. As it states, darkness began as 13. Very familiar. Without form, they spread throughout and became a whole. The ones that continued to spread and derived their own forms became the Heartless, while those without forms developed individual will. Oh, interesting. And now, the formless yearn to take over the bodies of those with strong hearts. Strong hearts. You can't destroy darkness if it has no form, which is why you need a vessel with a strong heart. That's where you all come in. Wait a minute. I know how it sounds. Are you saying he's purposefully gonna make them, get infested with darkness? Resilient enough to withstand darkness even if it were to take over your hearts. She's making darkness take a physical form. This is war. Between people and something entirely different. Just so that darkness can be defeated, because it has to be physical to be defeated? You can't afford to get sentimental. You have to be pragmatic. I choose this fate for you because I believed you could bear it. That's actually really cool! Now listen, there are 13 darknesses. Of those 13, we'll trap the most powerful 7 inside the hearts of each of us. We'll all go our separate ways and destroy the darkness wherever we end up. That's the true purpose of the Keyblade War. Is it really necessary for the unions to betray each other? Is the war the only way? It is. I used the passage in the book about the traitor to plant doubt inside all of you for darkness to feed on. So he purposefully made all the Keyblade wielders attack each other. And when emotions grow and clash, they'll get stronger. And eventually the 7 shadows will try to take over our hearts. So he wants them to take over. And he makes the wielders accept darkness by planting doubt about a traitor amongst themselves. As for the remaining 6, 5 will feed on the Union leaders, and the last one will be trapped in this world. You can't do this. The sacrifice is too great. I told you not to let sentiment cloud your judgment. It's a tragedy when darkness takes over someone's heart. I know that all too well. Because I've seen those that I cared about, my closest allies, drown in darkness. This is also, I feel like, the most real we've ever seen the Master of Masters get. This isn't some heroic tale about the battle between light and darkness. It's about honoring the dignity of those with hearts. This music is very good. Besides, I'm not planning on sacrificing anyone. I have a safety plan. Maybe should have led with that? He just silently walks away. May your heart be your guiding key. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. You are the key to the future. I'm counting on you, traitor Lushu. Lushu's the traitor. I mean, traitor. Although it could mean that he genuinely is a traitor down the line. Wait, why didn't Fen go? Oh, this is the other one. I was like, he's just still sleeping. Any progress? Well, I tried looking for a way to get everyone back at once using the existing system. But it's not a viable option with the time we have. So that's it? There might be another way. Not for all the Dandelions, but I think I can help Ephemer and the others at least. We're just giving up on everyone else. But before I do anything, I want you to hop back in the lifeboat. What? Why? I need to work quickly to have a decent shot at this. But first, I'm going to get you out of this world. Yeah, sorry, I guess I need to take it twice. What's your plan? Return 2 of the pods to the data world. That way, the 3 of them will each have 1. Will that work? Only one way to find out. Get in. Will you really be okay on your own? The only Union leader who can escape right now is you. Ephemer gave me this chance to keep hope and light alive. And now I'm passing it on to you. Let me do this. Alright. I don't know where or when you'll end up, but keep your goal, your waypoint, etched in your heart. I will. I assumed people's data just didn't exist when I couldn't find my sisters. But I was wrong. It does. Then that will be the waypoint to guide you. I hope you get to see her again. I hope I get to see you again, too. The thing is, now they're in the real world, they're just in a dying world. That's probably a good idea. I'll try to do my best about everything I remember. May your heart be your guiding key. Brain! Uh-oh. Who? So it's just you? I still don't know how Lucio got Strelitzia's data to the real world. Do you think they all got there safely? Of course. Brain's with them. Yeah, he's always got a plan. Unlike someone I know. Wow. Even now. Shots are being fired at Ephemer. I can't believe the world is ending. They're all a little too happy about that. It's so quiet. Guys? Guys? What? How? Oh, the 5 darknesses. There are 4 darknesses, I guess. No need for alarm. We are not here to fight. Yeah, okay, I believe you. We merely ask that you open our gate before you leave. Gate? Oh, yes. The darkness you fought must have told you our purpose. Infection. We will travel through portals and infect other worlds. You thought we'd just agree to that? You have no choice. We overpower you. We could take over one of you here and now. You can open our gate of your own will, or out of regret and shame at losing a friend before your very eyes. I won't do it. Fools. Once this starts, get in the lifeboat. Huh? One of us needs to survive. Fools. What? This is why people cannot defeat darkness. What? What's happening? Hello? Stop! Everyone's heart has been lost to dark. What? Since when? He cannot hear you. Wait, are you? I am formless. You cannot destroy me. Is that the darkness Ven fought? I thought we dealt with you. No! Open a gate, and he will be returned. Yeah, it sounds so painful. No. I will handle this alone. So I wonder if in the game you actually, like, control the player there to fight Skuld and Ephemera. Stop, Everglow. Let your hatred grow. It fuels us. No. Oof. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did he open the gate for them, or did he... So it's just you? That's right. You are... Luxu, one of the Master of Masters' apprentices. Huh? Master Luxu? I thought you disappeared before the unions were created. None of that matters now. Tell me, are you a union leader? Yes, my name's Brain. For some reason. And you're the only one here, I see. Where are the others? One escaped, but 2 are still in the data world. That makes 4. What about the 5th? Are they gone? Yes. I see. So that's yours then? No. 3 of my friends stayed behind in the data world. I'm going to send both of these there, and with the one they already have, they can all get back. Then what will you do? Stay here and stay alive as long as I can. I need to wake up as many of the dandelions stuck in the data world as possible. Wake? Master Eva taught us that when a world becomes enveloped in darkness, it falls into a slumber. It does. The data world is different. How so? That world was built as a cage to entrap darkness. If it falls to darkness, that's it. No. And another thing. The lifeboat is incomplete. Whoever uses it needs 2 things at their destination. Someone with memories of them, and a vessel to occupy. Were you aware of that? More or less. Do you have a plan? Dude. Well, I'll figure it out no matter how long it takes. You're pretty smart, aren't you? It's a shame this lifetime is the only one you've got. It's a very threatening thing to say to someone. Ephemer. Let's go home. The player did not get a chance to go. Captain Bay. Yeah, why don't they just put a bunch of people in one? Using anger to get them to take a form. Through this portal, we can access and infect countless worlds. It's time you rid yourself of that brittle human vessel, unless you wish to waste away along with it. Why are you laughing? I guess the darkness is still in there. I didn't think tricking you guys would be so easy. Are all of you this gullible? Wait, was he faking it the whole time? You don't have a physical form, but you need a key to unlock doors for you. Seems real inconvenient. Is this a double fake? What's happening? Ephemera locked the gate back there. This one here is locked too. Looks to me like you have no way out. It was all an act? Took you long enough. How does it feel to be outsmarted? So he just locked them in a cable? But he sort of trapped himself there. A little bit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drag you into this too. Yeah, now Chirithy's gonna fade too. Oh no. Wait, who took the last pod? Oh, dude, there's like so much to keep track of. I can't remember like how many pods are in each world at each time. They all made it out. Right, because the one pod just never came here. That's right. Let's take a look outside. I might need to watch like something to recap everything. And the thing is, if this isn't the data world anymore, why is it all like glitchy? It takes so much time and effort to create, and only an instant to destroy. Come on. This is pretty horrible to watch. You are difficult to understand. You mean people? No, just you. Do you want to understand? It is important to understand your enemy. Is it important for darkness, or just you? All of us. A chessboard makes for a small world. Easy to understand, easy to control. Now imagine it expands slowly, one fairy tale at a time. Without end or limit. No matter how large the world grows, no matter how many countless lives are spent expanding it, darkness spreads to every corner. It's the kind of unfair, really. We can run, we can hide, but you can always seem to stick with us every step of the way. We are friends after all. Hey, buddy, pal. I could use some time alone, you know. So where is it that you plan to run off to next? A new world. One that I can't even conceive. A world where neither light nor darkness rules. Where might that be? Do you know what sets people apart from other living beings? It's a very good track. People want to believe in the future even if they won't be there to see it. I want to believe too. Believe in a world beyond what we can imagine. A world of fiction. They said that again. Okay, this has to be Quadratum then, based on how they worded it in Melody of Memory. If you imagine hard enough, you can imagine any reality. Like I said, a world I can't even conceive. And that is a place where voices and sight can't reach. World. Did they really just blank it out? Because, of course, they would. Skuld, get in. They're taking the actual lifeboats, not the data lifeboats. And now they're not smiling. It's pretty heavy stuff. Thank you for being here, Ephemer. I'm glad I don't have to face the end alone. It's not over till it's over, Skuld. Right. I guess the worst part is that they're gonna think that I guess the player was like corrupted by darkness till the very end. Which kind of really sucks. Because it's not quite what happened. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts likes to be, you know, a tragedy. It likes to tell tragic stories. Oh. Oh no. No! This is horrible, actually. Everyone's just fading away. Literally, we're witnessing, like, the death of everyone. Pretty much. Everyone besides the, wait, hello? We're connected to the hearts of our Keyblade wheel. Wait, hello? When your heart disappears, so do we. And when you fall asleep, we become your protectors. No, 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 no! Are you telling me that every Dream Eater in Dream Drop Distance is like a dead Keyblade wielder? Your heart will simply melt into a new one. What is this? Oh. That's Xehanort. Hello? Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. So since we don't become a Dream Eater, the heart of the player becomes Xehanort? What is it? It's not over yet. Huh? Good night. That's actually crazy. Hello? Wow. And that's it? There is a post-credit scene. Okay, well, while the credits are rolling, I'll sort of do a recap of everything I can remember. So basically, at the very beginning, which seems like forever ago, sorry, they revealed so much right at the end there. Okay, so initially, everyone's in the real world, and they're basically gearing up for the Keyblade War. I see. And because everyone that played the game is like genuinely getting reincarnated into Xehanort. So in the beginning, they're basically projecting all the Disney worlds from the Book of Prophecies, which is Tales from the Future, into the world with they break down the real world so that the Keyblade wielders can practice and fight Light and those things. But really, the war is just like going to happen, and so they create the group of Keyblade wielders called the Dandelions, which Master Ava's in charge of, to basically keep the Light alive when this world is going to end. Yeah, it doesn't tell everything, but and so then the Keyblade War happens, the Dandelions wake up in the world of Data, and the whole point of the new Union leaders, which are sort of, created to basically try and forget the Keyblade War and live their life in a branch off of, if life didn't, if things worked out and there was no war, so they tried to make them forget their memories. Is it a little too loud? Oops, sorry. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. I can also, a good thing about it is I can edit that and post, and I should be able to turn down the audio separately from the commentary. So, wow, okay. Anyway, Keyblade War happens. Then everyone gets woken up in the Data World, and then the Data World gets corrupted by darkness with the new Union leaders there, and it's basically meant to be as a cage to catch the remaining darknesses that got split from the initial war that the Master lived through. Strelitzia got attacked by darkness, and her spot was taken by Ven unwillingly. Meanwhile, through all of this, the whole point was to sow seeds of doubt, and basically the Master of Masters was forcing people to put darkness in themselves so that darkness would take a physical form and be able to be defeated. The whole time. That was the whole goal of him. Or his goal up until what comes after, I guess. I mean, there's a lot in the middle that happened also that I'm not going to be able to go through all at the same time. What a weird game. Okay. Oh, man. And this is Scala ad Caelum. Oh, it's a lifeboat. I mean, we sort of saw the whole time we've known about how the tower in Scala is the same as the tower here. Yeah, we still don't know how Ericus gets the Keyblade that Ephemer had from Brain. Oh, mysterious tower time? Ah, she needs a physical form. Right. And that's how Maleficent gets to where she's going. So Lauriam wakes up. Somewhere in a field of flowers. Lightning for Larxene, that makes sense. I guess Elrina at this moment. Does she get, like, struck by lightning? And Ven gets sent to the Badlands, where he gets found by Master Xehanort. Lushu's still dragging the box. May your heart be your guiding key. Wait, what? Wait, what? Again? What? That was Brain, right? So what happened to Lushu? Like actual Lushu? Where am I? I'm so confused. Wait, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. You must be Brain. I am. Yeah, he didn't have a hat on. Just as I thought. Who are you? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. My name is Sigurd. Could you give me a moment? I need to make a report. Sigurd. I'm trying to, like, rearrange that in my head. Apologies for the wait. Come, I'll take you to our headquarters. What are you talking about? It was decided that you would escape Daybreak Town amidst its destruction and arrive here today. And that we would welcome you. It was decided? What do you mean? Allow me to explain once we get there. Wait, what about the others? Some of my friends escaped with me. You are the only one who arrived in this time. Oh. I realize this all must be very confusing. Do you now? But if you would please come with me. Is that the original Keyblade Master and founder of this town, Scala Adkailun? That is Master Ephemer. I know. He was a good friend. An oath to return. And we get Liberty Mutual ad. Is that the end of it? It is. Holy crap. Okay. I guess, yeah, because, well, Ephemer. Wouldn't Ephemer have made it to the future? Yeah, I know that. Dude, I wasn't ready for the ad at the very end. Oh, man. Okay, let me. I don't want to play that. I want to find a good song. There we go. That's a good song to play. All right. Well, that was wild. But yeah, I'll need to watch some more stuff and maybe rewatch a lot of it myself. But anyway. But yeah, that was Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. A lot of bombshells dropped right at the very end there, that's for sure. As well as I'm just very confused. So Luxu and Brain look the same. Anyway. It was good. It was very good. I actually didn't think that the story in these games were going to be that good. And so that was a pleasant surprise to sort of see that happen. But anyway. All right. And I think with that, we're pretty much caught up with Kingdom Hearts. I know the Dark Road is still a thing. So we'll need to... I'll need to catch up with that once that's ready to be watched through or played through or however I'm going to do that. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I think that, yeah, it's not finished yet. I'm just saying when it is done, I'll have to, that'll be sort of the next thing, I imagine. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. And I will talk to everyone in the next adventure. So see you guys then.